young age here in this world, we are trained to construct, build, put on our own armor. We are taught from a young age to start doing this. And we use different kinds of armor, different people do. Some use humor, enduring yourselves to others by making them laugh. And it's a defense mechanism. It's a form of armor. Some use diplomatic tendencies. So they're compromising to keep peace. These are what we call commonly the yes men. They'll just compromise whatever just to go along and get along, to keep the peace and the unity. Some use intelligence. They'll hide behind well-crafted arguments and excuses. But that's exactly what it is excuses. If it's against the Word of God, it's nothing more than man's excuse. Some use toughness. They want to portray that they are able to take on anything, do anything. They're ready to fight at a drop of a hat. Some use isolation, building up walls to protect themselves against anyone or anything and not letting anyone else in. But we know how isolation works. That's one of Satan's favorite tactics. Isolate us from the group, just like that lion. The word tells us that he is as a roaring lion, going around seeking whom he may devour. He isolates the weak. He isolates those that are willing to use that strategy to isolate themselves. You're making his job that much easier. But these types of armor, they become what we call our personality, our defense against people, defense against the people of this world, the physical, the natural that we can see. But that is not what God has called us to be. You see, we get comfortable in this armor that we build. We get comfortable in this armor of this world. We learn how to use it to our benefit. We learn how to manipulate people through using these mechanisms, through using our armor. It becomes instinctive to us, almost natural to us, because we start training at such a young age here in this world. But it shouldn't be natural to us. It's not natural to the people of God. It's not natural to God's army fighting to use this type of armor. It is the armor of God that we are called to wear. It is what He has given us. And we see here in Ephesians the full armor of God. First, you have truth. That's the first thing that is in the armor of God. And that truth is to set us free from old mindsets, from destructive ways, to keep us from going back into the camp of the enemy. That is what the truth is there for. And we see this, John 8, 31 through 32. It says, "Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, 'If you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.'" It is that truth that brings us out of the camp of the enemy and into the camp of the Lord, out of the army of darkness into the army of light, out of fighting, following Satan, into following Jesus Christ, the captain of our salvation. My God. The next thing that's in this armor is righteousness. Righteousness guards our hearts from going astray. It is, if we will be led by the word of God, then we're not following every whim and every idea and every deceit that comes along. But we got to have that breastplate up, protecting our heart. We have to have that word of God, as David said, hid in our heart enough that we can recognize when these whims and ideas are man's ideas and not of God. Because a man of God, there's going to be many of them that are going to stand in pulpits around the country, not in this pulpit, but in a lot of pulpits around the country, that are going to give you man's ideas, whims, and deceitful doctrines. So we have to have that righteousness, that breastplate on, in order to recognize that for what it is, an attack of the enemy, and be ready to fight. Jeremiah 17:9 says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" You see, if we don't have that breastplate of righteousness on, protecting our heart will lead us astray. our heart will turn us to these false ideas of man because it pleases the flesh. It sounds good to the flesh, but not to the Word of God. And that's where we must decrease. That's where we must say, I need you more, Lord. The more we have of the Lord, the closer we walk with the Lord, the more of this righteousness we have built up in our breastplate, then the better capable we are of fighting the good fight, as Paul told Timothy to do. From a young age,